Going on YouTube? It's Chemistry 11 here, back home for the time being. Um, I made this video back when I first started making videos, and I took a lot of my videos down because I wanted to redo a lot of them, and some of them they were just not in the right direction that I wanted to go. Um, However, this is one video that I will remake, given what's been happening in our society worldwide. All right, and what I'm gonna read here, anybody could pull this, just type it up, Google it, whatever. It's called "The Law of Fives" from Adam Weisaupt, who is the father of Bavarian Illuminatus. Um, he taught that history came in cycle of 5 stages, and someone who understood these could manipulate history to their own ends. The first stage is chaos, the starting point of all societies and the place of humanity in its natural state, and it related in Weissaupt's mind to the goddess cults of antiquity, especially to the worship of goddesses such as Lilith, Eris, Diana, or Kali. The second stage is discord. Here Weishaupt taught a ruling class emerges and seizes control, and this causes problems because the average people who are not on top resent the imposition of authority upon them, and they try to fight it. Weishaupt related this period to the introduction or imposition of the worship of a male god, of the Bible, Marduk or Osiris. All right, and now we're talking about monarchies. All right. That time is gone and past, well, except for in UK. The third stage is confusion. Weishaupt saw this period as a time when people would attempt to restore a balance between the two preceding forces, masculine and feminine. It is supposedly an attempt to reprogram human nature and make it fit into stage 2. And he related this period to the child god, Loki, Horus, or to a kind of devil. Been through that already. Now, where we are right now, and there's 5 stages, where we are right now in stage 4, and this is the one I really want everyone to pay attention to. I'm going to read this, slowly. The stage 4 is the bureaucracy. It says, the result of the synthesis of stage 3 failing. In this period, everything must be obsessively kept track of. And because folks can't take care of themselves. Weishaupt believed that there would be a spiritual void during this stage, and absolutely no deity would be acknowledged. The only God becomes the ruling bureaucracy. Folks cannot abide this void and escape into fantasy, drugs, or madness. They cannot abide this void, so they escape into fantasy, drugs, and madness. The rulers must continue to appear to control and know everything. They must appear to control and know everything. And the burden on the slave class beneath them makes them unfit for anything. They lose their jobs and end up on the dole or in hospitals. It is during this phase that the destruction of the middle class takes place. Without a middle class to generate capital, the entire mess collapses into stage 5, the aftermath. This, Weishaupt taught, was the implosion of society into itself, a reversion to chaos. The bureaucracy crashes under the weight of its own red tape, and things whirl out of control. Magic and nature now rule again, and the cycle is in preparation to begin again. Okay? We're talking about good old-fashioned order out of chaos here. Now let's go back to stage 4. And now, everybody, please stick with this video, okay? Because stage 4 is where we are right now, okay? Everything must be obsessively kept track of because folks can't take care of themselves. What all we hear about now? Nanny state this and welfare that, And there's paperwork for every single thing we do, and now there's RFID chips, that's been around for years. And And now your cell phones can keep track of you. There's records for everything. Everything is just kept track of. Just a long list of forms and everything else to keep track of every dollar, every movement we make. We have the surveillance all over the place. We have laws and legislatures written into place that allows authorities uh, uh, to peek in on us more and more. um, and it said Weisaupt also believed that there will be a spiritual void during this stage. Well, what do we have now? I mean, any mention of God? I mean, you have the daughters of the of the Revolution, all right, who are taking God and not any kind of reference out of their their literature or whatnot, except maybe their motto. It's the whole separation of church and state thing. While it is lawful, it's being pushed more and more, and it's more of a thing to just push any kind of religion out. Period. You know, not just Christianity, but all of them. All right, and absolutely no deity will be acknowledged. I already have a video talking about this. It's entitled "Cause the Holy One of Israel to Cease from Among Us." Um, and it said the only God becomes the ruling bureaucracy. Well, can't get any more bureaucratic than, well, it can, but it's very bureaucratic now. And as they say, we're in this nanny state, and more people become dependent on government services, you know. And the very threat of taking away entitlements or anything, sends people into a frenzy. All right, and folks cannot abide this void and escape into fantasy, drugs, or madness. Well, the fantasy, well, how many? What the movie theaters generated like $10.8 billion this year. More and more people are just looking to escape anything, comedy, whatever it is, to try to escape. Drugs, okay, the prescription drugs, man. Let's not even get into the illegal drugs. All right, more and more people are using it now. I mean, they finally legalized the marijuana. More and more people want it. Okay, and then you have the madness. Turn on the news. Okay, somebody's always shooting up something somewhere, probably because of the drug part, and a little bit of the fantasy part. Okay, so a lot of people are escaping into this because the spiritual void is already here. And it said the rulers must continue to appear to control and know everything. So now, okay, yeah, they had this deal, this fiscal cliff deal, and all these different things, and things look okay. They put it on the news and tout everything as a victory and all this, but let's not forget about the Sandy victims, just to use a more current example. How long have they been waiting? They finally voted on something, and it's only like $6 billion instead of the $60 billion because of pork barrel projects infused into that bill, all those things. So yeah, they're gonna put a ribbon and a bow and a smiley face and a nice shiny suit on these things, but the simple fact is this deficit is run away, and I don't think anybody is going to be able to fix it unless they take some drastic measures and just be like, you know what, hit a button and give everybody a clean start, X out all the credit, put everybody at zero, and everything else, let them start over. I don't know. Um, it says the rulers, let me see, and the burden on the slave class is beneath them. That's pretty much anybody, us. Makes them unfit for anything. They already been. It's so much that people don't know and can't follow. Not because the majority of Americans are dumb. It's just that our lives are so occupied with just trying to pay the rent, trying to pay the bills, trying to keep food on the table and clothes on the back and a roof over our head. So this isn't like however way back when it was mostly an agricultural country and everybody was involved in the nation's politics and everything and all the town hall meetings and all that. Well, it's just not enough time for that, and maybe that's by design. All right. And so it said they lose their jobs and end up on the dole in hospitals. More and more people in the hospitals. We got the socialized healthcare system now, just like in Europe. More and more people are in hospitals. People are losing jobs faster than they could be created, or end up on the dole. A lot of welfare recipients. And it said it is during this phase that destruction of the middle class takes place. what's been said all through, for the last few years. The middle class is being destroyed, you know. And without a middle class to generate capital, you know, here we are. The entire mess collapses into aftermath. You know, it makes me wonder why Dr. Dre labeled his record label Aftermath. Since everybody people talk about the music industry and all those different things and how they satanic or whatnot, but his record label is Aftermath. The implosion of society into itself, a reversion to chaos. The bureaucracy crashes under its own red tape and things whirl out of control. That's all we got left, people. You know. No wonder the DHS is buying so much ammo and got all the coffins up over in Georgia and all these different things. Hey, it's going down. Things were a lot of control. Bureaucracy crashes under the weight of his own red tape. Like I said, it's a runaway deficit. So I just advise everybody to make whatever preparations they need to make, to try to survive. Magic and nature now rule again, and the cycle is in preparation to begin again. And so what's going to fill the spiritual void will be the way people worshipped before monotheism and all these different religious institutions came into play. A more natural way. Like the Stonehenge days. Like the ancient Mayans and Aztecs and all those different things, because everybody is going to be looking for something to make sense of all and to gain some kind of sense of spirituality when our basal natures are no longer satisfying us, and it's just still feel empty after you did everything. But the way that people are used to, that we've been indoctrinated with now, well, that's being pushed out of the way. So what's left? Everything else that's considered alternative religions or New Age will be the religion of the age. And it's not new, but it's called New Age, but it's not new. So that's my little rundown. I made this video before a long time ago, so I'm putting it back up. Hit it up, leave comments, insults, gripes, whatever. Let me know what you think.